Okay guys, this is the second part. As I said, I had to stop my recording for a while because the first session is stopped at after 10 minutes, so I will have to divide my video in every 10 minutes. Anyway, so in the last tutorial I created this folder called NHibernate mapping files. I'm going to go ahead and create one more folder. In this folder I will have NHibernate related helper classes. So I'm going to say NHibernate helpers, and next thing I would like to do is basically I want to add one more folder. This folder, my all the data access layer. Okay, that's where my data access layer code will be residing. Okay, now I have created three folders. Now first thing I'm going to do, now let me first show you my database. Let me try to show what I'm trying to let me show you what I'm trying to achieve here. First let me show you my database here. So here is my database called IP address record. In this database I have a table called feature. It has huge amount of data, almost like millions of records in here. So basically I'm trying to pull out these records from here using NHibernate, and so basically I will be mapping this particular. So okay, for those people who are not familiar with the NHibernate, so NHibernate needs basically a couple of information, like you need to know the table, and it need to know the corresponding mapping class and the mapping XML file too, so that it can create a basic CRUD operation for you. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. But usually these are like a lot of mundane tasks. I don't like to do. I would prefer to write business layer code rather than writing in like basic mundane tasks. But that's why I wrote a little tool. Basically create a basic CRUD operation for me. So this is my. So I need to provide the server information. And the database I would like to use is IP address records. This tool has nothing to do with tutorial, but like this tool would create me. Otherwise, I would have to create this thing manually. Here's my so basically here's my feature table, and I want to generate C# classes. That's what I'm going to do. In the namespace I would like to have let's go ahead and create a class called feature. Okay, this is the namespace I would like to have. Okay, that's the namespace, and this is the assembly DLL. Okay, based on that I would like to generate the class, so I don't have to write those getter and setter by myself. So I would just basically all I'm going to do is just copy this one and then put this code into here. So my data access, my Poker class is now generated. Basically generate abstract class called feature, and then of course corresponding to that I need a concrete class called feature IMPL, which inherits from the feature. And then next thing I'm going to do, I need to create a corresponding and like sbm.xml file, the mapping file for NHibernate. So that's not what I mean to do. That's what I mean to do. Okay, I'm gonna rename this guy as feature.sbm.xml. Okay. Yes, and now let's go ahead and generate that tool also. This time I'm going to generate the class, the mapping class. Great. And then once that is done, I'll go in here and then put those into here. So basically, you know, all the columns are mapped, and basically that feature IMPL, that is all good, and that's the table name. Okay, that's good. And if you are not familiar with NHibernate, what you have, next thing you have to do is when you put this file, you have to make sure you have to, you know, build Axon as embedded resources. That's the next thing that I have to do. So I'm going to embed that. That is good. Now I have my Poco classes is done. My NHibernate, you know, mapping is also done. Let me make sure it builds okay. Alright, nothing is there. You know, right now it is not, the NHibernate hasn't been, the configuration of the NHibernate hasn't been done yet, so that's the next thing we're going to do. I need a couple of information. So next thing I would like to do is I would like to go into the sorry guys. Okay, next thing I would like to do is I would like to go into my global.sx file right here. Okay, in here I would like to do a couple of things. If you look at this one, the MVC application is basically inheriting from HTTP application. I would like to override some of the method that this base class has. If I go into the definition here, there are a bunch of virtual methods, but I just need one of them. The method I would like to override is this init method. This is virtual, so that I can let's go ahead and override that method. Override this guy. In here, before even overriding, let's go ahead and create a field here. Let's say I'm going to create a field called public static session factory. This is the object, the factory that deals, you know, that is responsible for NHibernate communication to the backend database. Of course, you know, it doesn't know what that guy is. We'll do, you know, type resolution. So do a control, comma, it will pop out this one to include the NHibernate. And let's give it a name for this variable. NHibernate session factory. Okay. And the next thing I would like to do is in here, there are a couple of events that I would like to that I would like to capture. One of them is this .begin request. In here, I would like to wire up the event handler. So, of course, this would take two pieces of information, sender, and let's say E. Let's use some lambda here, right? This is what I'm going to do, and then comma. And this is for the begin request, and then we'll do the same thing for the end request. This dot end request plus equal. Of course, I could have use a method, but this using lambda is very nice in shortcut. Okay, that is good. This is where we'll be doing something, and this is where in this block we'll be doing something. And even before that, what we have to do here is basically, of course, you know, now what we have to do is basically using this NHibernate session factory guide that we have. Basically, we have to say something like, let's say, var session declare variable, the session variable, and NHibernate session factory dot. I would like to open the session here. Okay, open the session and associate the session with the I'm going to associate the session with the context NHibernate context session object. So it has a static method called bind here. What you're going to bind is the session that you just obtained, or that you have here. Okay, And then next thing you have to do once your session, because this is end